With a lot of exciting stuff coming from GM, specifically Chevy and Buick, we saw that there's going to be a whole plethora of new EV SUVs from the higher end Buick brand. And with that being said, we're going to be actually seeing some traditional engine setups as well. The Chinese market has been expanding its GM repertoire as well, and with that we get a look at the 2024 Buick Envista. So let's get right into it and essentially go over everything we know on the design front, a little bit of the interior, powertrain, and what we can expect from the pricing. So as I mentioned, the Envista is gonna be a compact SUV competing against somewhere between the Encore and the Envision current SUVs from Buick. But with that said, it's gonna be a little bit different in terms of the design. We have more of a coupe styling for the back, and with that, a taller roof line, and interior wise, some updates as well. Expected to compete against the Q3 and the Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC Q, but at the same time, it's gonna be a little bit more affordable for that, and that's what I really love about GM. They know how to make higher end vehicles with Cadillac, with Buick, but at the same time, they still focus on making it relatively affordable. So it's gonna be ranging depending on the trim. We expect there to be 4 trims, about $30,000 to $45,000 US, depending on where you go. But as I mentioned, if you have higher end trim levels, it might be on the pricier end, but the fact that you can enter a more luxury high-end segment of vehicle is still going to be appealing. And in terms of the engine, the Chinese version is powered by a 181 horsepower turbocharged 1.5 liter 4-cylinder hooked up to a variable automatic transmission. But with that being said, you can have a front and all-wheel drive for that setup, but there's a pretty strong possibility that we'll be seeing some other powertrain and engine lineups in American markets, likely a 228 horsepower turbo 2-liter from the Envision, which also has a 9-speed automatic. So that could be up to anywhere, they could be modified and optimized a little bit to be around 250 horsepower. But at the same time, they don't want to put something that is inefficient on fuel when there doesn't really need to be a reason for it. Interior wise, we do get a glimpse of that as well from what we've seen on the Chinese markets, seeing as that is where I see they're developing a lot of these newer vehicles due to probably logistics and things of that nature. We see a nice screen all the way from the digital instrument cluster to the infotainment, connected similarly to how we see on the new Cadillac Lyrics. So that's definitely a plus, a much more comprehensive technology setup from the current Buicks. 10.3-inch displays, 2 of them in total. One for the SUV's gauge cluster and the other one as the infotainment interface. And we're gonna obviously have all the capabilities and Wi-Fi hotspots that we see in other iterations of the Buick. But again, as I mentioned, it's definitely going to be higher end and potentially going to have some autonomous driving function as well. So exciting stuff for the Buick Envista.